There is no doubt that Mauthausen was the basis for long-term planning. It was constructed as a gigantic stone fortress on top of a mountain flanked by small barracks. Mauthausen, in addition to its permanency of construction, had facilities for a large garrison of officers and men, and had large dining rooms and toilet facilities for the staff. It was conducted with the sole purpose in mind of exterminating any so-called prisoner who entered within its walls. The so-called branches of Mauthausen were under direct command of the SS officials located there. All records, orders, and administrative facilities were handled for these branches through Mauthausen. The other camps, including Gusen and Ebensee, its two most notorious and largest branches, were not exclusively used for extermination, but prisoners were used as tools in construction and production until they were beaten or starved into uselessness, whereupon they were customarily sent to Mauthausen for final disposal. End of the quotation. The tribunal will recall that in the showing of the moving picture, with respect to one of the camps, there was a showing of sections of human skin taken from human bodies in the Buchenwald Concentration Camp. Attached to the exhibit is an extract of an official United States Army report describing the circumstances under which this exhibit was obtained, and that extract is set forth in document 3420 PS, which I refer to in part. It's entitled Mobile Field Interrogation Unit Number 2, PW Intelligence Bureau, Bulletin. '13 Concentration Camp Buchenwald. Preamble. The author of this account is P.W. Andreas Pfaffenberger, 1 Koi 9 Landeschützen BN. 43 years old and of limited education. He is a butcher by trade. The substantial agreement of the details of his story with those found in PWIS HLF 736 establishes the validity of his testimony. PW has not been questioned on the statements which, in the light of what is known, are apparently erroneous in certain details, nor has any effort been made to alter the subjective character of the PW's account, which he wrote without being told anything of the intelligence already known. The results of interrogation on personalities at Buchenwald have already been published. This exhibit, which is on the table, is a human head with the skull bone removed, shrunken, stuffed, and preserved. The Nazis had one of their many victims decapitated after having had him hanged, apparently for fraternizing with a German woman, and fashioned this terrible ornament from his head. The last paragraph of the official United States Army report, from which I have just read, deals with the manner in which this exhibit was acquired. Another certificate by Lieutenant Demas is set forth in document 3422-PS, and it is similar to the one which I have read a few minutes ago with relation to the human skin, excepting that it applies to this second exhibit. We have no accurate estimate of how many persons died in these concentration camps, and perhaps none can ever be made. But as the evidence already introduced before this tribunal indicates, the Nazi conspirators were generally meticulous record keepers. But the records which they kept about concentration camps appear to have been quite incomplete. Perhaps the character of the records resulted from the indifference which the Nazis felt for the lives of their victims. But occasionally we find a death book or a set of index cards. For the most part, nevertheless, the victims apparently faded into an unrecorded death. Has on its cover the word Totenbuch, or death book, Mauthausen. In these books were recorded the names of some of the inmates who died or were murdered in this camp. And the books cover the period from January of 1939 to April of 1945. They give the name, the place of birth, the assigned cause of death and time of death of each individual